Should you get and build Hoalhaya? Short answer, probably no. Long answer, this entire video.
Well, if it isn't the doctor. What a coincidence, us bumping into each other. I'm here because I, Hoalhayak, want some further contact with Rhodes Island.
作戦計画なんてないわよ。プランは変わるものだから。任務さえ達成できるならルール破りは大歓迎よ。冗談よ。
Hoalhaya, former Melander Foundation top agent, and president of the Colombian Astrological Research Association. A woman who's not afraid to manipulate, betray, and do immoral acts to achieve her goal. This woman is also apparently one of the few remaining Kukulkan in Terra, who were once said to be one of the most powerful elder races from Sargon, who possesses the power to fly and harness the power of air and thunder. But as someone who bears such legend in her blood, her physical condition and originium arts are simply stronger than most. She also appears to be a result of her race's cruel cultural practice. When she was young she underwent some kind of brain surgery, where the collective of her ancestors' knowledge implanted into her brain. But the surgery also resulted in her race-long lifespan being cut in half. However, she still chose to pursue the goal of her ancestors. To find out how to bring back the true form of her race, she found a major clue during her time partnering with Kristin. But eventually, under the complex circumstances during that event, she was put under the supervision of Kelsey in Rhodes Island, and helping out as an operator, mostly on recon and intel gathering. However, due to her background, some access must be restricted for her. Hoalhaya is our third 6-star forecaster in the game, who leans more towards crowd control, particularly dealing levitate effect. While you already heard the short answer, but maybe she will still offer usefulness to you. So, let's see more about her. As a corecaster, well, not much to say in this part, but her subclass tends to be the choice for dealing single target arts damage. Also a good choice if you need Mulsees to copy a ranged arts operator. And this is her stats. Got okay stats for what her subclass meant to do, a medium cost, and she's slightly tankier than other 6-star corecaster. Now this is her talent. Talent 1 will make her deal critical damage to an aerial target and silence them. This could make Hoalhaya a good choice to handle aerial units, especially those with special abilities that can be silenced, although it's kinda rare nowadays. This effect can also apply to ground enemies via using levitate effect, and thankfully all of her skills can inflict levitate. But whether it's dependable or not, we'll talk about it later. As for her talent 2, she will apply weightless effect to all enemies in range, effectively making some heavier enemies float longer from levitate effect, or shift some enemies further away. But the problem with this talent is that the requirement is quite stingy. It only affects someone with and above 80% HP. It's bothersome and might be only useful in certain advanced scenarios. Compared to Angelina's skill 3, I think Angie weightless is more dependable. And then this is her potential upgrade. Not a really impactful upgrade as far as I see. So she's alright without extra potential. Next, let's see her module. Luckily she got the best module for her situation, or well, the best module for corecaster in general. X module lets her ignore 10 of enemy resistance, which is great, and increase her HP and attack. While the upgrade will enhance her first talent, sadly there's no new addition, just an increase to stats and silence duration. For what it's worth, if you're going to use her quite often, might want to unlock her module to get that res shred. But I think the upgrade benefits are too low to justify the cost, and should be skipped unless you like her and find those extra stats useful. Now let's see her skills. All of her skills mainly focus on giving levitate effect to the enemies, and mostly shines against only a single enemy. Levitate is one of the strongest control effects since only few are immune. But if you do find someone who's immune, mostly the bosses, she will pretty much lose all of her usefulness. And there's the slight awkwardness of using Levitate to stall enemies, while having ground unit to deal most damage, as most ground unit can't attack aerial target. But hey, if you often use cut arrest too, this might be what you need. Anyway, let's see her skill 1. The next attack will attack to targets and multiply the damage. And if it's only one target, she will inflict a levitate effect. For damage, as an early skill it's decent. But in terms of control effect, due to the auto activation of this skill we have no control over her levitate effect, making it an unreliable stalling skill. But after all, it's only a first skill, so I'm sure her next skill is more dependable. Turns out not really. Her skill 2 will make her launch multiple projectiles with a reduced attack damage to a random target in range, plus a small chance to levitate them for a sec. This skill is pretty much Supreme Leader Amiya skill 2 with levitate effect, where it shines against a single enemy. But she has a lot of problems when there are multiple targets in her range, as in order to do maximum damage you'll need to levitate enemy and utilize talent 1. But the trigger chance is ridiculously small, which might be not a problem, if not for the fact this skill has random targeting, making the crowd control and damage from this skill not dependable. Okay, skill 2 is not so good, but let's see if her skill 3 can do something awesome. Well, almost. Her skill 3 will increase her interval, but it will expand her range similar to Artilleryman, or K with her S3. Continuously send a whirlwind to levitate and damage the enemies. With bigger damage the farther her whirlwind goes. The positive of this skill is that it is the most consistent application of levitate effect in this game. It also has an extended range that is rare for a caster. And the only other core caster who has that range with her skill decided to become a freaking physical damager. So yes, this extended range could be useful in lots of situations. As for the negative, since the whirlwind will disappear after hitting a target, it's not a suitable control effect against multiple enemies walking in single file. Moreover, the whirlwind will disappear if it hits any kind of target with a hitbox, such as some stage structures or stainless turret. It has a terrible skill cycle without the help of an SP battery. She also got no attack boost, and the damage drops off the closer the enemy get. Although it's something that you can somehow manage by placing someone to block the enemy farther away. But it kinda beats this skill's main purpose, to stall the enemy. Overall, for levitate it's probably the best we got. And I kid you not, this skill is hella fun and useful if you got many attack speed buff. So it will shine in mode like IS or SSS. But in general stages other forms of stalling could be preferable. And if it's only 4 arts damage, it loses to quite a lot of 6-star caster. Heck, even a medic. Now for her skill mastery priority. It's almost none honestly, so she can stick at level 7. The mastery hardly has any impact on her skills. And the gains are also low to justify the cost. But if you are already determined to build this snake, start and probably just master her skill 3. It is her most dependable skill for crowd control and damage. And the range could be useful. The second choice would be her skill 2. But it's more of a, I'll master the skill because I love the snake mommy option. As for her base skills, increase clue search speed when she's working in the reception room alone. And skill 2 pretty much guarantees you a Rhinelap clue. So, should you get and build Hoalhaya? Snake Lady is overall a poor 6-star unit, with poor damage, and unreliable stalling unless when using her skill 3. But that skill still has some slight issues. For what she offers especially at Elite 1, I don't think she's a good unit for a newbie. Except probably as an option to silence enemy in the early chapters. As for veteran players, you could probably find usefulness in her kit. Especially since skill 3 is the most consistent. And the longest levitate application we have so far. That should be all. Adios.